Hi there. Today we will talk about the project requirements, which we will have it as a final project in our course. This project is a capstone project and it talks about mainly data analytics. So you might feel that the project requirements is not really specific to a certain topic in our course, but because our course is registered as a capstone course in accounting major, we use this project. In this project, we will use Power BI to analyze some data. And we know data analytics is very important for students in the accounting major. So we'll use Power BI, and Power BI, you could say it's like an Excel on steroid. So if you don't have any idea about Power BI, you don't know how to download it, this is your place. So I'm going to introduce Power BI. I'm going to use the project to introduce the different tools and software that you can use it for data analysis. First of all, our learning objective is to import data from Excel file to Power BI, then format the data, and then try to make some analysis and then visualization. And this is the ultimate goal of this project. How can you download Power BI? This is, by the way, the project handout, which is available on Brightspace. You can either use this link to download it, but before you download it, you need to make sure that you have Windows, because Power BI doesn't work on Mac devices. And if you have Mac devices, you can use our Power BI on our remote lab here on campus. You don't have to be on campus to use it. You can log in remotely and you can access Power BI on our campus computers. You can also make parallel, and if you have Mac, so you can make parallel built-in bootcamp, and then you can download Windows and then download Power BI. So you have multiple options, and it's totally up to you which option you feel comfortable with. As I said, our goal is to clean up the data, analyze the data, try to interpret the data. I will send you the data file. So the file, I'm going to use it in Excel now, is not exactly the one I'm going to send it to you to work on. So I'm going to show you today a presentation of how to do the project, but the data exactly, it will come to your email so you can download it and start following my videos and then try to complete the project. The number of records are going to be like 65,000 records plus or minus for the last year. And here is a quick look on those files, on this data. The data talks about a fictitious insurance company, and it's from first day of January up to the last day of December last year, 22. The data has some columns like insurance type, initial type, like year and invoices. And I will use Power BI to connect those three columns and come up with a new column. I call it invoice number. Then you can see here that the insurance type and the state initials are together. So I will use Power BI to split this column into two columns. And then we will check each column to see if there is any errors and use Power BI to correct the errors. And this is what we will cover in this presentation. The rest of the requirements, I'm going to present them in another presentation so you can have small presentations to work on the project. So this is the Excel file. As I said, the one I'm using in this presentation is different from the one you are going to use it. However, the principle is the same. The steps are the same. So when you open Power BI, you come across this first screen, and here you open a new screen. When you open a new screen, you come across this one where it will ask you from where would you like to get the data. So we can use it imported from here, or I can use it here, Excel workbook. So I will get the data from Excel workbook, and I have it here saved on my desktop. And here we go. Here the project data file. So I will open it up, and then once the Power BI is opening up the data, will ask, do we need to load all the data or transform the data? I will take the first, load the data. You can use transform data, and that's totally fine. So let us load the whole file of Excel. When we load the whole file of Excel, this is apply changes and discard the changes from my previous record. So here is my file, and it should open up now. Yep. Yeah, here is the whole file of Excel that you have just seen it now. So now I need to start work around these columns. As I said, add a new column, split an existing column, delete an empty column like this, and then correct the errors. So we go to Home, and then we go here, transform data from Home. And then we have different option. I will use transform data. If you choose transform data from the beginning, then you don't need to do what I'm doing now. So what do I need to do with this file? As I said, I have 3 columns here that I would like to make them as one column. So I will go here, add column, then column from examples, and then from selection. Because I will make a new column out of a certain number of columns, not all the columns. So here I need to select 1, 2, 3. Those 3 columns will be my new column. So here in Power BI, you don't need to build any code. Power BI will learn by example. So if I go here, pick the letter here, A, then year, then number, and put them together. So I put A, just type it, dash, 22, dash, number 10. So here I added them manually, and once I hit enter, you will see that Power BI copied what I have done in the first cell, copy it to all the following rows. And do I agree with this one? Yes, I click OK. If you don't click OK and you start to play around the table, then what you created will be messed up. So we click OK, and here we see the code. Now I'm still in the transforming mode, so I will change the heading. You make right click, and then you say rename. And I will call it invoice number. So now I used Power BI to clean up my data. How? Create a new column. It's a one example. Now I don't need those 3 columns because I already created a new column. So I need to delete them. So if you go back here, you see this one. I made shift and then arrow to select the 3 columns. And then I make right click, remove columns. I remove them. So you can see here now I created a new column and I deleted the old ones. Also, I need to delete this one. This one is empty. It says here null. So you make right click, remove it. So now my table is much better than what it was in the Excel file. Also, I can drag this one. You make left click on your mouse and you keep dragging, put it here after the date. So in a traditional Excel file, we usually get the date, then the invoice number. Now I need to split this column into 2. So how can I split it? Also, you can stand there and make right click. And you can see here, a split column by delimiter. What do we mean by delimiter? If you can see here, there is a dash. I need to split the column into 2 columns. Take the first characters before the dash and the following characters after the dash, regardless of the number of characters. So here I click by delimiter, and then I will use the colon here, and then I split by each occurrence of the delimiter and click OK. So I'm not going to change anything in the settings here, and we click OK. Once we click, we can see that the existing column has been split into 2, and the delimiter has been removed. So here I call this one rename, right click, and I call it state. So here we see the state initials, and here we find the insurance type, insurance type. Now I can drag the insurance type next to the sales. So now I see the date, invoice number, sales amount, insurance type, then sales representative, then state, region, and country. The last point here is to check the errors. How can I find if any column has errors? It's a bit hard to find it in the invoice number because if I make filter by invoice number, you see the numbers are so huge. So I'm not going to test you on checking the errors here. And the sales amount also, it's a bit hard to check it. The insurance type, let us see. We might see some errors. Do they have errors? We don't know. But if you click here, so I make left, right click to get the filter, then you say load more. Okay, now I see there are some names have been repeated with duplication in some letters, like auto. It became auto with double T. It means the person who was entering the information made typographical error. So here is one of them, disability, also another one with double L, life, another one with double F, professional, another one with double F. So here it seems I have 4 different typographical error I need to change. Okay, so I will close it off here. And then I will go to home. I'm still in the transform mode. And I will go home. And then if you scroll down to the right here, you see transform, replace value. Before you click on the replace values, make sure that this column is highlighted because the replace value will ask you to do replacement in which column? In the highlighted column. So we take them one by one. First, I need to replace auto with the correct spelling, auto. And then click OK. I don't see anything. So how do I know that the change has been made? Check, make the filter again, load more. And you can see here, I don't see the other erroneous word. I see only one word. So yes, it has been made, even if I don't see anything visual. Now let us do the other 3 since we understand how to do it. So again, I will keep highlighting this one, the column, then go to replace value and go for the second one, disability. And then go here for disability. And then click OK. Then go to the next one. I believe it's life. And I need to make it live with one F. And the last one, professional. And then we make it here professional with one L at the end. Now let's check all of them one time before we move to the other field, load more. And you can see here, I have auto, disability, home, life, professional. If you forget one of them, you can easily go back to the transfer mode, and then you can go for highlighting the column and then replace the value. Now let me check here. The salesman, do I need any name? Do I see any name here repeated twice? Okay, so it seems if I even load more to make sure, here, Chrissy, Dave, Frank, Jennifer, and so on, we don't see any name repeated twice, so it seems there is no error. Check the state initials. All of them are 2 initials. So it seems if I find anyone 3 initials, then I will go and correct it in the same way by highlighting the column and replacing values. Let's check finally the region. And let me load more. I can see here, Midwest, New England repeated with double L, North Central, fine, Northeast, fine, Southeast, the U is missing here, so I have New England, Southeast, and West, the S has been replaced by letter M. So I have 3 errors here, I need to correct them. Okay, so we go to replace value. First, we have New England. I replace it with New England. Second, I believe it was Southeast. And we need to put here Southeast. And finally, West. We go for WEMT to WEST. Again, in the data file I will send you by email, you might have the same error or different errors. Okay, but the concept is the same. So here, let me load more. You see that all the region names are correct now, so I'm done. Finally, we check the country. We have one country, US, so we don't have any error. So in this part, we learn how to import the file, how to create a new column, how to delete other columns, how to split an existing column, and how to correct any errors. Once I finish this one, I will go here, change it from transfer mode to apply and use the data, close and apply. So home, close and apply. Then Power BI will take all the changes and apply it to the Excel file. So here you see the data file corrected. Everything is fine. If you would like to make double check, please do so. So here region, if you check, I don't see anything, any error. If you check the insurance type here, I don't see any error. So everything is good to go. And now we come to the first requirement in the project that you go here. Here is the report view, here is the table view, and here the relational database. So I move from the table mode to the, what we call it, the report view. And here you need to build up several pages. Each page will answer one requirement in the project. So the first page is going to answer the errors part in the project. So I put here 01 errors. So I'm going to number the pages by the requirements of the project. What do we need to write in this one? It's a very simple one. I'm not going to do any analysis here. I need to report the errors. So I go here under home and then text box. I need to create a text box. So here I created 2 text boxes, one here and one here. 3 text boxes. Okay, I can delete them. You see here, this is the ellipses. If you make left click and remove them. And also the first one will be there. The last one here, make left click and remove them. So you can add and delete the text box if you created more than one. So we come here to the text box. What do we need to write? I need to make a title for what I'm going to write. So once you stand inside the textbook, you see here the format column or the format section has been made. I need to go to the title. If it's not switched on, please switch it on. And then which title I'm going to put it here, I will call it errors because I need to report the errors I have made. I can make it bold and I can make it also black. You can make a background. So maybe we can put this nice background, make it in the middle, center it, and make a divider. So the divider here off, make it on, and here you make the color maybe black, make it solid. And once you change the parameters here, it's automatically goes here. And once you do the change, you don't need to save it, it's saved already. So here is the errors, the title. Now I need to go to the effects. The effects is for the body of the text box. I'm going to change the color just to show you how we can make different format to the text box that we can use it later on. So let me make a light one. Yeah, this way should be fine. It's up to you to choose any format for the text box, but you need to show me that you can change the background, change the title, and so on. So, and here, this toolbar, it's actually for the text I'm gonna write it here. They call it values in the Power BI. What are the errors I found in my file? I will just make the font a little bit bigger so you can see. Here, I found errors in insurance type. Insurance type. Okay. What are the errors? Number one, and once I write one, it's automatically indented. I have one error auto. The second one, disability. So you need to write that. I know that you already corrected them, so I'm not going to ask you for the correction, but I need to know how many errors did you find, because for each error you get a score. If you missed one error, it will be reduced from your project final score. Okay, then live, then professional. Okay, then I need to see the errors in the region. So here we call it region errors. Number one, it was, I think, New England. Number two, Southeast. Number three, WEMT. Okay. I know it might be too small for you to see on the screen, so I'm going to make it bigger. Okay. Just for you to see. Yeah. But you don't have it to make it that big in your submission. Okay. So here I need you to make bold, underline. So now I know that you found two sections, and here bold, underline. And this would be the answer to the first requirement. And remember, whenever you finish a certain part, make sure to save it. Because if you don't save your work, then you might lose it. So here I will call it a Power BI project. And please make sure to add your last name to the project. So here I'm going to put my last name, Garas. And here you can save it wherever you want. Okay, so you can put it here. I will put it, you can save it in Google Drive, which is fine, or you can go more option, and then you can save it anywhere. Okay, so I will go ahead, file, save as, browse my device, and then I will save it on my desktop. Power BI project. And remember to add your last name. It's saved. So now I can close up my file and then resume for the second part. I hope you find this video useful to learn a few techniques in Power BI, and I will complete the requirements of the project in another video. Thank you. Bye.